Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Omar from the Bush Bears team. It's Tuesday, March 14th, 2017, about 8:24 p.m. in the evening. I am back from vacation. I was in Cancun for a wedding. One of my best friends got married. I was groomsman, so that's why I haven't been active. I actually had a trade yesterday at JNUG. Made a quick grand on it, trading from the actual cafeteria where I was getting some food. Um, but I haven't been active lately, so I'm back and ready to get at it. So I want to create a watch list, kind of looking for some plays tomorrow. If you, for those of you who haven't seen my videos, go check them out. I'm part of the Bullish Bears team on YouTube, so we have a YouTube channel. If you go to YouTube and you search for Bullish Bears, oops, and I spelled it wrong. Here we go. So when you go to Bullish Bears, you'll see, so there's a stock market community. You go into 165 videos now, all types of videos for all types of different tutorials. If you go to playlist, and if you scroll down, you're gonna see a whole bunch of different options. Things to learn: options trading, shorting stock, how to use Thinkorswim, day trading, all kinds of stuff here. Swing trading, all different types of stuff. My section is Omar's momentum trading, and you can catch all my videos there. So this is where it will be posted. There's a whole bunch of videos here. The future. So so it's been a lot. I'm actually going to update this custom scan Thinkorswim setup. I'm going to create a new updated version of this video. I'll get around to it probably this weekend or something. Maybe I'll do it before the weekend. I'm not sure. But if you haven't seen any of my videos, I recommend watch this one first. Momentum strategy. Trading a buy. This is the one that will put you in the right kind of path to success. Um, this is where I'm at. So for those of you that have been watching my videos, and then you have like daily recap videos and stuff like that. So for those of you that have been watching my videos, you know that what I do is that every night I run a scan looking for stocks between $20 and $30, 20 cents and $30. I'm sorry, with a minimum criteria of 500,000 shares, no max, that are up at least 5%. Let me see. There it is. All right, and I click scan, and we get 21 stocks. That's it. So for those of you that seen a lot of my other videos, you've probably been, you've seen sometimes over 100 stocks have been appearing. I mean, the market's been crazy. Today, kind of dead. Wasn't a lot going on today. All right. So we're gonna look to see if any one of these 21 stocks are gonna appear on my watch list tomorrow. So what I do is I go to charts, and then this is the actual scan. You can actually pull any scan that you have saved. You just go to personal, look for your scan, and then it'll come up, and it's right here already. All right. So let me let's just so you can see. I just click that. I click that, and it refreshes. All right. So let's look at the plays. Top play moved up 65% with DRWI. This thing gapped up at the open on news. Beautiful opening range breakout. You see it kind of like sold off in the beginning, and then right here, this is the high of day. So what you should be doing is you can put like a trend line, or you can put price level, whatever you like, and then you're looking for the breakout. So once it broke above that 176 range, had you been watching this, this would have been your entry, and it went from 176 to 235. I actually was watching this. You see, I had the trend line here. I actually watched this. I didn't actually make a play on it, but I saw it. I saw it. I actually caught this stock about here, right when it broke 201, and that would have been a good entry because it actually it broke the psychological resistance of a whole number, and it was had volume. You see the MACD, the greens rolling over the red. All right, the TTM screens is popping. So all the confirmations that this is going to push a little higher. You got the volume push surge here, and you see it kind of had a little pullback, but not too much. It didn't sell off. So if this volume was all the way up here, it's going to sell off. But because it was sort of a small pullback, you see, just people. This is just people take a profit, and then they got that last push, and then it completely sold off. All right. So that was the run, and that this kind of play is more consistent with what the market will give you. We just been very spoiled by the market, and you see it kind of consolidated and sold off. Now what happens is this is the 1 minute 2 day, put the 2 day 1 minute chart. Okay, and this is the, let me put it up, 5 day 5 minute chart, so you can see where the stock's been over the last 5 days. The stock was at a this stock was at a what is it, $1, right, over the last 5 days. Okay, now it's up at 235, so it's very overextended. This would be a great short opportunity. So if I'm gonna put this on the watch list, only because sometimes stocks, when they have news, sometimes they'll have multiple days where they run. So you may get another pop at this tomorrow. Who knows? We'll see. But this is really more, I think. I mean, maybe you get a little opportunity to trade this at the open because it has a slight move gap up. But this is going to be a better shorting opportunity, right? Because if you look at the yearly chart on this stock, okay, this is a stock that was 1066 at its height, and it's just been like kind of crashing down ever since. It's just been collapsing all the way down, and it's back to 106. I mean, it's at 202 now. I mean, theoretically, could it gap up? I mean, if it's a solid company, I don't know what the fundamentals are. It's probably a dog shit company, and I expect it to give back a lot of this tomorrow. But maybe it pops at the open. We'll see. All right. So I'll put it on the watch list just for the people who do short. I know most of the people in the community don't have brokerages that will allow them to find shares to short. You need like a more serious broker, not an E-Trade, not a TD Ameritrade. You're gonna need like a Centerpoint or like a Speed Trader or even Short Trader might be able to find shares to short. All right. So let me just create my watch list. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to create watch list. I'm gonna put tomorrow's date, 3/15/17. I'm gonna hit save. And we're gonna see. So I'm gonna put this on my watch list for tomorrow. DRWI. Hit enter, so that'll be on the watch list. Next is move up. Now, normally I wouldn't put this on the watch list because I like to have stocks that hold in its highs. Right now, this stock is currently at 185. The bid and the ask, the spread is 20 cents right now because the brokerages, most of them are closed. But it's at about 180. Actually, it's saying 180. So, it's already consolidated. It's already gapping down, but I'm gonna put it because there ain't a lot of plays, and I expect this to get back some more tomorrow, so it may be a good shorting opportunity. All right, let's move on. NVCN. NVCN broke another stock that gapped on news, so it had this nice pop at the open at about actually 11:22. This thing started to rip, and it ripped all the way up to 170, kind of pulled back, and then had a second run. Okay, and it kind of like consolidated, and it found its new support level about 164. And you can see in the afternoon, so let's say, this is why I love VWAP. So let's say you missed that whole run and you happen to catch this stock like in the afternoon. So you see it around this time, about 1:30, and you happen to catch this. If you see the stock, like what I like to do is midday and afternoon is what I do is I use VWAP to kind of get a sense of like if I'm gonna buy a stock or not. So let's say I happen to catch this, and this is a choppy stock. I mean, it's an ugly chart, but. And let me move it on the 5-minute range. Had I seen this cross VWAP and I see there's like some volume here, I might have seen some volume. There wasn't much volume. I might have made it a play on it using VWAP, maybe like 5 cents below VWAP as my stop, because sometimes the stock goes right on above and below VWAP before it makes its push up above it or below it. But you see, once it broke VWAP, I might have made a trade on this if I was watching this just to see and say, hey, I'm gonna watch to see if it runs. And I'll just use I'll just put a stop loss 5 cents below VWAP, no harm, no foul. If maybe I buy 1,000 shares and I see what it does, and or you could, it depends on your size, stock like this is not very expensive. Maybe buy, if there's enough volume there, you maybe buy 2,000-3,000 shares and try to get me 20 cents on it, make a couple of $100 very quickly. And you see once it broke VWAP, it kind of gapped up and it hit a high of 188 before it gave it back. And remember, you're looking at the confirmation, so you get that confirmation here because the green line is above the red, and the more spread apart it is, that's a stronger sign that it's gonna push upward. The TTM squeeze, remember that light blue, that means that it's power. It's like that's the strongest level signal that it's gonna push upward. All right. On the 5-minute chart, it's interesting because if you look at it on the 5-minute chart, it's still bearish, even though on the 5-minute chart. So this is why. A 1-minute chart is it's always good to have the 1-minute chart, because even though on the 5-minute chart this was still bearish, on the time frame you see how it's still bearish, even though it's gapping upward. And then here, right around here, it's already has its most of its move before it kind of consolidated, pulled back, and then sold off. So because the stock is volatile, that's why it's good to have the 1 minute so that you can get in and out of trades quick. That's why most day traders use a 1 minute chart. They'll use a 5 minute, but they always should be looking at the 1 minute. This is a good example of that. Right? So I guess the question is this going to be on my watch list tomorrow? I don't like it. I don't like the chart. I don't think. I mean, it is overextended. Let's see where it's been over the last 5 days. I mean, this stock was 128 5 days ago. It's now it's 188. I mean, it probably is going to give back some of these gains, and it could have a second push. I don't know. It kind of sort of held its gain. I mean, it's close to it. I mean, I guess we could put it, see what it does. I don't expect it to do anything tomorrow, to be quite honest with you. I think it had its move, but we'll see. I'll put it on the watch list. All right, let's see. Let's move on. MGI. Yeah, this is a stock that pre-market moved on news. It kind of hit a high of 1641, and then you see it kind of just gave back a lot of those gains. It's currently at 1577, and you see, kind of bounced above and below VWAP for a little bit. But it's ugly. I don't like it. I mean, I expect this. This will probably be an actual show 10-minute shift. I wouldn't be surprised. This should be a great short tomorrow, to be quite honest with you. If you're a short seller, I would be looking to see this give back a lot of its gains tomorrow. So I'll put it on the watch list because of that. But I mean, this is not. But I don't expect this to move big at the open. We'll see. Look how it's ugly. It's choppy. Like you can't even trade this on the 1 minute. You probably have to use like a 15-minute time frame. Let me put it in. If you look at the 15-minute, you see it's cleaner, and then the 15-minute, because it's so choppy, you can see how it just kind of came back and it's kind of consolidating. And I expect it to give back more. All right. There you go. So let's move on. RT is something I looked at. It actually popped at the open too. It found its range here. So this was the high pre-market. This was the low after the open. And then what you do is it breaks above it, you buy. If it breaks below it, you can short. If you can find the shares, and maybe Tuesdays, I think they're gonna be bought out. That's what made it move. And it gapped up to 239, and it kind of like sold off, and then it kind of like popped again, and then it kind of pulled back. I don't expect this to do much tomorrow. I'm not gonna even put it on the watch list, but if you want to put it on yours, feel free. NAKD. Now these are the stocks that, even though this is an ugly, choppy stock, these are the stocks that I love to trade. Stocks that are holding their highs. All right, these are the stocks. This is what I like to see. See how it's, in the channel, it's holding its highs. This is what I mean when I talk about holding its highs. It's gapping up. It gapped up all day. It opened at what? 9:30 opened at 236, 237, and it closed at 277. And it's still moving after hours. All right. This is a stock that it's going to be on my watch list for tomorrow for sure, because you got to expect it to be active because it's holding its high. And then you can kind of see where it's done on the last 5 days. So it hit a low 180 and over 5 days ago, and it's gapping up towards its 5-day high, which is 287. So that's going to be its next resistance point. So just put a trend line there to see if it's going to break it. And then so if you want to do more exploration, you can see what it's done over the 20 days or 50 days. Or the last year. Usually I just go right over to see what it's done over the last year. So at its height, the stock was 475, right? This is a dog shit company. I don't expect it to do much, but it did hold its high. So tomorrow it could be volatile. It can be, maybe have a little pop at the open, but it's definitely gonna definitely have a short. You're gonna be able to have a nice shorting opportunity with this stock tomorrow. I'm looking to short it. This is why I keep telling you guys. Like, I know it's hard to grasp the concept of shorting, but if you can get your money together, open up an account with like a speed trader, a speed trader or center point, and really start focusing on short selling, that's where all the money is, and that's where all the opportunity is. Because remember, we're in a bull market, but the bull market doesn't last forever. In a bear market, shorting is great, So, even the bull market too, shorting is great because stocks gap up, and then you just short them on the back end, as they're selling off. I think shorting is the way to go if you could, figure it out. If you could figure a way to do it. And CVRS, this is a perfect example of what I mean when a stock gaps up and then it washes out. So today this thing moved on news. It was trading at 119, and then at some point in the day it just popped, right? There must have been some news, and it went from like 133, and you see the TTM squeeze building, you see the MACD starting, you see the actual strength building, and it popped, right? And then what you do is, as you see, if you watch this and you're catching this and you're not sure to get in, right? What I would tell people is, if you get another, so if you're looking at the 1 minute, and the 5 minute, you should always put a trend line to get a sense of the trend. And what you want to do is you want to see the stock follow the trend. Once it breaks the trend, then you know that it's gonna sell off. And this is where I like to short into. So I like stocks like these that gap up, looking for the reversal to short into. And if you're having a brokerage like Speed Trader or like Centerpoint, you can find those shares generally quickly, and then you just short it back down. Because most of these stocks are dog shit. They're gonna just gap up really fast and then just have a hard, strong pullback. And you just short into the pullback, And this is the strategy to make big money. This is what the big retail traders do, This is what they look to do. And if, let's say, you have missed this opportunity and you kind of say, okay, where's my next entry? All right, if I'm watching this, and I'm looking at this, I'm not sure what to do. I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna let VWAP tell me. If it hits VWAP and bounces back upwards, then I make a trade again for it. If it dips below VWAP, then maybe I short it. And you could have shorted this, but you see how it kind of bounced up. It kind of had a short dip below VWAP, and then it bounced above VWAP, and then it like collapsed below VWAP. So sometimes those VWAP, breakouts or breakdowns, they can be like almost fake outs. But you see, at some point, it actually broke. Once it broke below VWAP, it actually completely sold off. And you can see the MACD and the TTM squeeze and all those other indicators that'll help you get a sense of what it is. Because you see, it actually starts to build momentum again, and kind of goes back up. But let's say you would have let's say you saw it break below this, so you short, right? And you say, you know what, I'm gonna put a stop 10 cents above it. So if it goes 10 cents above VWAP, once I short it, I'm gonna get stopped out. So let's see what have happened. If you would have put your stop 10 cents above it, you know what, you still would have been okay, because you would have saw it going against you, like, shit, should I get out? But I'm gonna build strong. Let me see if it goes 10 cents above. So your stop would have been 156. But you know what? Look what happened. It went above VWAP and it stopped here, and then it cleared. That's what, it's collapsed. And you would have been up right now, because if you would have been holding this after hours, it'd be at 139. And guess what? I'm probably going to give back more tomorrow. So that's kind of what I like to look for when I'm like trading like these kind of stocks, where I like to watch them run and kind of short into the back to the reversal. All right, it's not going to be on my watch list. I'm just giving you more than usual, because there's not a lot of stocks on the actual scanner. This stock has no volume, so yeah, it's holding its highs right now. It was 57 cents 5 days ago, but it has no volume at all. I wouldn't trade this. MGTIs that it's being pumped. It was 112 5 days ago. It's back to 73. It's at 89. It's at 90. It closed at 89. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I wouldn't really trade this dog shit. But if this might be a potential swing trade, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing breaks $1 again before it sells off. I'm not gonna put it on my watch list, but I wouldn't be surprised if this thing touched $1 tomorrow. CYCD, nah, look, it's not volatile, no volume. NYLD, nah, it's got ugly charts. APPO, look at this. It was 175 to 207. I mean, it's ugly. It's not liquid. It's 520,000 shares. I mean, you may want to swing trade it, but I'm not gonna touch this. RTK, yeah, I saw this. I didn't trade it, but I actually saw this move happen. This probably was a chat room pumping this. Now, if you have a brokerage like Centerpoint, or again a Speed Trader, I would be looking to short this tomorrow. Okay, this is gonna give back some of these gains tomorrow. Let's see what this stock has done over the last year. I'm just curious to see where it was a year ago. The stock was $4.15. Wow, and it just completely collapsed. I mean, it's dog shit. But this might be a good shorting opportunity, and it did close it holding its highs. So I'm gonna put this on the watch list, because it just gapped up in the last holding its highs. But I'm short bias on that stock. All right, but maybe it has a little move at the open. TGTX, there's a stock that it was 930. It's at 1385 now. It had a rip. It gave back a lot of its gains, but look what happened, guys. It gapped up all day. It hit the high, and then it has this reversal. But look, it bounces off VWAP. So if you're watching this midday and you missed the whole move, and this happened at about 250, you see it touch this, you might make a play at 1290. You go in, and it went all the way up to 1337. And then it kind of reversed, and look, it came close to VWAP, but now it's up after hours. This is going to be a good stock to watch. I think people have this stock, moving up. Like the company fundamentals are somewhat, from what I understand, I think they're not so bad. I don't know. I haven't done a lot of research on it. I would expect this to have a nice pullback tomorrow. I mean, this might have a nice run in the morning, but I would expect it to have a pullback tomorrow. So it might be a good, good rip in the open and then a good reversal where you can short into. You can do, get in both sides. Next up, PLG. PLG ripped as well, went to 169, came back down to 159. I don't like the stock. VBIV 583 hit a high of 660, kind of gave back some minutes at 644. I mean, it's choppy, has no volume. This may be something that you may want to swing. I'm not going to put it on my watch list, but I wouldn't be surprised if this continues upward. V-Ray was at 531. It hit a high of 560. In the after hours, it's up to 615. It doesn't have it's not liquid, but this is again another stock that you may potentially wanna, swing trade. ABPH, nope. RSO is a stock that went from 808, hit a high of 875. Look what happened. It bounces off VWAP, dips below it slightly, and then continues upward. So it's up. It's up. Let's see what it's been over the last year. The stock its height was at 1373. It's at 864. I mean, there's nothing really stopping this. I mean, if it can get past, not that it would, but if let's say it got past that 886 mark, oops, sorry. Whatever. If it gets past, what's the high? The high is 887 actually. If it can break 887, let me zoom out a bit. I'm sorry. Yeah, it has to get higher. It has to break. It has 886, but then the next resistance point into 917, and then 964. But if it could get past that, look, there's nothing stopping this from going back all the way up to $12. So I'm gonna put it on the watch list. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna do anything tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if it just gave it all back. But it's something to watch. So put it on the watch list. BV. I don't like this. Choppy. Move out. EARS. EARS kind of sold off, and then it had a nice little dip buy opportunity where you could have dip bought it, and it kind of came back down. I don't like it. I know some people bought. I know Tim Sykes was pumping this this morning. OCN. This is a stock. It's choppy, but it has liquid, and it was at 441. It held its highs at 544. So really, out of all these stocks on my watch list, there's really like sort of like 2 or 3 that are really like stocks that I really fit my real criteria of stocks that are holding it high. So this is gonna be on my watch list. Let's see where it's been over the last 5 days. It was at a low of 441. Had this move to 4484 today. See, it's been over the last year to get a sense. So there's a stock that at its height was at 615, right? So this is what the high 477. So it already broke that previous high. The next high is 494. So if we could get past 494 tomorrow, if we get high past the high of 495, I mean, there's nothing stopping this all the way to 553. I mean, you should check the moving averages, like the 50-day and the 200-day. That may be between here. But if the moving average is somewhere up or above this, there's nothing really stopping this from keep continuing to go. Will it? Nobody knows. Everybody tells you that they're full of shit. But we'll see. All right. So it's gonna be on my watch list, and that was all the stocks. Now, there's 2 stocks that weren't on my watch list, but I always say put them on your watch list because they're volatile, and once you understand patterns and how to use the indicators and movement, you can kind of trade them, which are NUGT and JNUG. So whenever I'm gonna put them on I'm gonna put both stocks on my watch list. Whenever there's no plays in the market, I don't care if gold is up, gold is down. I don't care what's up. These stocks are always volatile every single day, and VWAP is actually a good, it can be helpful in your entries with this. So let's say you're watching this stock, right, NUGT, and you're not sure what to do, right? So it kind of sells off and it gaps up, and you see it's below VWAP right now, right? And it kind of touches the VWAP, goes right above VWAP. Now, theoretically, at this point, let me see. Let me zoom out a little bit. It starts gapping up, and right here it goes above VWAP. But you see how it doesn't have any momentum. It's starting to build momentum, but there's nothing there. and it comes back down, and then you see this, the TTM squeeze, and you see the MACD starting to roll over. This is a sign that it's really gonna make a move. And once it breaks VWAP here, right in this candle, you see how it forms the bull flag. Right in here could have been your entry. All right, so VWAP was 814. You could have, if you wanted to, you could have gotten here, say, risking 5-10 cents, but say, hey, VWAP is gonna be my stop, or maybe 5 cents below VWAP will be my stop, and you could have rolled this up. Look at how it just rides the 9 EMA all the way. It barely breaks at one point, touches the 20 EMA, but it never breaks below the 20 EMA. It just continues to go up and up and up. And remember, what you want to do is once a stock is riding a trend and you're in, you want to put a trend line, right? So you want to see where you put it in, and you want to put that trend line there to kind of watch the stock ride the trend. And you see how it, for a second, it broke the trend just for a second, but it didn't break the 20 EMA. And you see kind of stays through the trend, and then you see that reversal. Once it breaks that trend line, that's where, if you want to, you can short, and you could have shorted this back down. This stock honestly does this every single day. You can literally make a living trading NUGT and JNUG, to be quite honest with you, because they're so liquid. They're always super liquid, so you're gonna get executed. And there's always at some point in the day where it's going to be a big move up or a big move down. And usually people, if NUGT is usually a little more expensive than JNUG, so but they move more or less the same way. And you see how it kind of like sold off, and then look, it breaks below VWAP, but briefly. And you see once it breaks above, so you could have, at this point, if you wanted to, right here, you could have got in once it broke VWAP to got a trade. Let's say you're watching this and you missed this whole run. You say, okay, so I see it go. All right, let me see if it, you see it start dipping below, but you're like, oh, wait a minute, but the MACD is kind of curling here. Let me see, and I'm getting a volume push, so let me see what's going to happen. And you could have got in right here once it broke above VWAP, and you could have got in for a quick, 10-cent move. Now, you say 10 cents may not be a lot, but if you have a sizable account, this is why day trading, you can make a lot of money, because if you're the type of trader that has a sizable account, 10 cents can mean a lot, because you can buy, 5,000 shares and it moves 10 cents and you just made $500, So, when you have money in your account, you can trade these, and because you feel safe taking a $40,000 position, because your stop loss will be there, and because it's so liquid, you're gonna get somebody that's gonna buy, okay, on the ask. You're gonna get a buyer. You're not gonna ever have to worry about not getting filled with a stock like NUGT. And so there were a few opportunities. And look, and let's say you're watching this here, and look, once it broke below VWAP, you see how it bounces up VWAP for the next couple of hours, the next hour, and then look, after 12, it broke below VWAP, and look, you could have shorted it. Say, hey, you could have shorted this all the way back down. Look at this collapse all the way down to 747, using VWAP as your entry. That's why VWAP, especially midday, like I don't really recommend trading midday. Because there's not a lot of traders available, and stocks are kind of wishy-washy. They don't have big moves one way or the other. But if you are, and you're kind of getting a sense of what you want to trade, use VWAP. VWAP is probably the best indicator, I think there is. All right, out of all the indicators, VWAP is the best. And you could have shorted this. I missed this, but shit, if I was watching this, man, I would have, you could have shorted this and make some nice money. And what's great about trading NUGT and JNUG is that E-Trade, TD Ameritrade will always have shares to short. So you're never going to have to worry about finding shares to short. You can make a living trading these stocks if you have a sizable account, to be honest with you. JNUG, same thing. If you watch it, they kind of move in unison. So you see how, it sells off at the open. And then, remember, I talked about when stocks sell off at the open really quickly, they usually have like a bounce back. And you see, this is where you could have bought the dip. So I call it dip buys or gap fills, where they fill the gap. So this is the gap that's forming, and then look, 650. Look what happened, 651, it bounced. That's not an accident. That's a psychological resistance barrier. And look, it bounced and it rolled all the way up. So you could have rolled this back up, the other way. But if you're not sure to get in, what I always tell people in the chat room is, in our community is, buy as close to support as possible. And support would be your stop loss, or a few cents below it, if anything. And once you see that gap forming and you see the MACD rolling, you could have gone in. Now, if you wanted a clear confirmation that, I'm not gonna buy unless I see this break above VWAP. So let's say that's your strategy, and that's where you feel the most comfortable buying. Look, once it broke 673, you had a chance to get in and buy all this all the way to a hit 702, and then it sort of gave back a lot of those gains, and you could have shorted into the reversal. Now remember, let's say you got in at VWAP somewhere here. Okay, this is where you put your little trend line. Actually, the trend line would have been here, so that this is not really relevant here. And it kind of dipped below it, hit the 20, continued to bounce up. But this could have been your stop, and you could have rolled this up all the way up to $7, and then just sold when the reversal came. And you see the reversal, the MACD's curling, and look at the bearish strength here, where it kind of just dips below it. All right, and and you could use VWAP again, sort of as an entry. Once it dips below it, you could kind of get in and short it. Could have shorted this for a few cents, but it didn't dip too far below it, and then kind of went above it and below it, and kind of went sideways. And this is why I don't like to trade midday, because midday kind of does this. But you see how it just keeps bouncing, 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 and then it breaks, and then it just completely collapses. Look at that, all the way down to $5. So could have shorted this and made a lot of money shorting this. All right. So and NGTT did the same thing, to tell you that. So tomorrow these stocks, I expect them to be volatile. So whenever nothing is kind of you're not sure what to trade, sometimes I just watch these stocks all day to look for an entry, and I use VWAP as my as my indicator to kind of find. So these are the stocks that are going to be on my watch list tomorrow. I'm not really excited about anything, to be quite honest with you, but that's why you have your scanners, right? That's what day traders do. They look for stocks that are moving in real time. Sometimes a stock pops up on your scanner, it's moving, and you make a trade. All right, so with that said, hope you found this informative. Glad to be back, and enjoy the rest of the evening. See you in the room, guys.